When 12 children vanished from Willowbrook Elementary during a routine fire drill, the only clue was what they whispered to their parents before disappearing. The voice says, "You never wanted us anyway." 3 months later, they were found in an abandoned warehouse, healthy and unharmed, but they no longer recognized their own families. Detective Amanda Cross thought she was dealing with a kidnapping case until she heard the voice in her own head, telling her that everything she believed about love was a lie. Detective Amanda Cross had worked child abduction cases for 8 years, but she'd never seen anything like the Willowbrook incident. 12 kids, ages 6 to 10, had walked away from their school during a fire drill and vanished for 3 months. When they were found, they were physically fine, well-fed, clean, showing no signs of abuse or trauma. But psychologically, they were completely different children. "They don't remember us," sobbed Maria Santos, mother of 7-year-old Diego. "When we picked him up from the hospital, he looked at me like I was a stranger. He asked the social worker why these people were trying to take him home." Amanda sat across from Maria in the cramped interview room at the police station. This was the 5th family she'd spoken to today, and they all told the same heartbreaking story. Their children had been returned to them, but the kids acted like they'd never seen their parents before in their lives. "Tell me exactly what Diego said when he first saw you," Amanda asked gently. Maria wiped her eyes with a tissue. He said that the voice told him we gave him away because we didn't love him. That we were just pretending to be his parents to fool the police." "What voice?" "I don't know. He keeps talking about a voice that talks to him inside his head. He says it's been teaching him the truth about people. That parents lie to children, that love isn't real, that everyone just pretends to care." Amanda made notes, but her mind was racing. This was the 5th parent who'd mentioned their child hearing a voice. Not voices, always singular. Always describing the same message, that their families had abandoned them and didn't really love them. "Has Diego said anything else about where he was for those 3 months? He calls it the learning place. Says it was better than home because no one lied to him there. The voice taught him and the other children how to see through people's fake emotions." Maria broke down crying again. "Detective, I don't know what they did to him, but my son is gone. This child looks like Diego, sounds like Diego, but he's not my baby anymore." Amanda spent the rest of the day interviewing the other families. The stories were all identical. 12 children who no longer trusted their parents, who believed they'd been unwanted and abandoned, who spoke about a voice that had revealed the truth about human relationships. But the most disturbing part was how articulate they were about it. These weren't traumatized children babbling about imaginary voices. They spoke with an unsettling maturity, like tiny philosophers who'd discovered some dark secret about human nature. When Amanda interviewed the children themselves, what they told her would challenge everything she thought she knew about love and family. The next morning, Amanda sat in the child-friendly interview room at Social Services, across from 8-year-old Emma Rodriguez. Emma was a beautiful little girl with dark hair and serious eyes that seemed far too old for her face. "Emma, can you tell me about the voice you've been hearing?" Emma looked at Amanda with something that might have been pity. "You hear it too, don't you, Detective Cross?" "Everyone does. Most people just pretend they don't." Amanda felt a chill run down her spine. "What do you mean?" "The voice that tells you the truth. That your husband doesn't really love you. That he stays with you because it's convenient, not because he wants to. That when you were little, your parents wished you were different." Amanda's breath caught. Emma couldn't possibly know about her marriage problems, about the fights she and David had been having. And she definitely couldn't know about the things Amanda's mother had said when she was drunk, the cruel words that still echoed in Amanda's head 20 years later. "How could you know any of that?" Amanda whispered. "Because the voice teaches us to see the truth. It showed us that our parents never really wanted us. They had children because society expected them to, not because they felt real love. And when we disappeared, they were relieved. The crying, the searching, that's just what they're supposed to do. Inside, they were happy we were gone." Emma spoke with complete certainty, like she was reciting facts from a textbook. "But Emma, your parents have been searching for you every day. They love you. Emma shook her head sadly. That's what the voice warned us you'd say. Adults always lie about love. They use words like love and care and miss you, but the voice showed us what they really feel. Fear that people will judge them for being bad parents. Guilt that they don't feel what they think they should feel. Relief that they don't have to pretend anymore. Amanda's hands were shaking as she wrote notes. Where did you hear this voice, Emma? Was there a person talking to you? It's not a person. It's just truth. It started quietly, the first day we got to the learning place. Just little thoughts that seemed like our own. But then it got stronger, clearer. It taught us that every I love you is really I need you to behave. Every I missed you is really I was worried about what people would think. Amanda was beginning to hear the voice herself, and what it was telling her about her own life was terrifyingly convincing. As Amanda drove home that evening, she couldn't get Emma's words out of her head. The little girl had seemed so certain, so mature in her understanding of human psychology. And those specific details about Amanda's marriage, her childhood, how could she have known? Because it's obvious, said a quiet voice in Amanda's mind. Anyone can see that your husband is just going through the motions. When's the last time he looked at you the way he did when you first met? Amanda jerked the steering wheel, nearly swerving into oncoming traffic. Where had that thought come from? It sounded like her own inner voice, but the words felt foreign, like someone else's observations about her life. Your mother was right, you know. You were a difficult child. Demanding. Needy. She did her best to love you, but it was work. You've always known that. Amanda pulled over to the side of the road, her heart pounding. This was exactly what Emma had described, thoughts that seemed like her own but carried information that felt too painful to be self-generated. Her phone rang. David. Hey, where are you? Dinner's getting cold. Sorry, running late on a case. Save me a plate. Sure. Love you. He doesn't mean that, the voice whispered. He says it because it's what married people say. Listen to his tone. Automatic. Rehearsed. When's the last time he said I love you and actually meant it? Amanda listened to the dead air after David hung up. The voice was right. His love you had sounded like an obligation, a reflex. Not like something he felt in that moment. But that was normal, right? People in long relationships didn't need to put passion into every casual love you. It didn't mean the love wasn't real. Keep telling yourself that. But you know the truth. You've known for months. He's staying because divorce is expensive and complicated, not because he wants to be with you. When Amanda tried to ignore the voice, it began revealing secrets about the case that only the kidnapper could know. Amanda spent the next day reviewing case files, trying to focus on concrete evidence instead of the disturbing thoughts that kept creeping into her mind. But the voice wouldn't leave her alone. You're wasting your time with witness statements and forensics, it said as she read through interview transcripts. The children weren't taken by force. They went willingly. That's impossible, Amanda muttered to herself. 12 kids don't just decide to leave school together. Check the security footage again. Look at their faces as they walk away. Do they look scared? Confused? Or do they look like they're following someone they trust? Amanda had reviewed the school's security footage dozens of times. It showed the 12 children calmly walking away from the fire drill staging area, heading toward the back fence of the school property. But she hadn't paid close attention to their expressions. She pulled up the video on her computer and watched it again, focusing on the children's faces. The voice was right, they didn't look frightened or coerced. They looked purposeful, like they were going somewhere they wanted to be. The warehouse where you found them. Did you notice that there were no locks on the doors? No bars on the windows? They could have left any time they wanted. But they stayed. Amanda felt her stomach drop. She had noticed that the warehouse wasn't secured like a typical kidnapping location. The children had been found in a large, clean room with beds, books, and educational materials. It had looked more like an unconventional school than a prison. They stayed because they were learning the truth. About their parents. About love. About the lies adults tell children to keep them obedient and dependent. Stop, Amanda said out loud. This is insane. I'm talking to myself. You're not talking to yourself. You're listening to the truth. And deep down, you know everything I'm telling you is real. Your husband doesn't love you. Your parents never really loved you. Love is just a word people use to control each other. Amanda's desk phone rang, startling her. It was the social worker assigned to the Willowbrook case. Detective Cross? We've got a problem. 3 of the children have run away from their foster homes. When? Last night. Emma Rodriguez, Diego Santos, and Michael Chen. Their foster parents found empty beds this morning. Amanda's blood went cold. Any idea where they might have gone? That's the strange part. Each of them left a note. Same message, same handwriting. Gone to find the others. The voice says it's time to go home. The children were returning to their captor voluntarily, and Amanda realized she might be next. Amanda raced to the foster home where Emma had been staying. Mrs. Patterson, the foster mother, was a kind woman in her 60s who'd been caring for displaced children for over 20 years. She seemed fine at dinner, Mrs. Patterson said, showing Amanda Emma's empty room. Quiet, but polite. Then this morning, the bed was made and she was gone. Amanda looked at the note Emma had left on the pillow. The handwriting was neat and careful, gone to find the others. The voice says it's time to go home. Did Emma say anything about hearing voices while she was here? Not exactly. But she did ask me some strange questions. Like why I became a foster parent if I didn't have to. And whether I ever got tired of taking care of children who weren't really mine. Smart questions, the voice in Amanda's head observed. Children can see through adult motivations more clearly than adults think. What did you tell her? Amanda asked. I said I'd do it because I love helping children. But she gave me this look, like she could see right through me. Then she said, you do it because it makes you feel needed. Without children to save, you'd just be a lonely old woman. Amanda felt the voice in her head grow stronger, more insistent. The child was right. Look at Mrs. Patterson. Never married, no children of her own. She doesn't foster kids out of love, she does it to fill the emptiness in her life. Even her kindness is selfish. Amanda studied Mrs. Patterson's face and, to her horror, could see what Emma had seen. The woman was genuinely caring, but there was something else there too. A neediness. A dependence on being needed. Mrs. Patterson, has anyone contacted you about Emma? Phone calls, messages, anything unusual? No, but... Mrs. Patterson hesitated. This might sound crazy, but last night I kept having thoughts about Emma. Doubts about whether I was really helping her or just making myself feel important. I couldn't sleep. The voice is spreading. Starting with the children, moving to the adults around them. Soon everyone will hear the truth. Amanda left Mrs. Patterson's house feeling shaken. As she drove back to the station, her phone rang. It was David again. Amanda, where are you? We need to talk. The tone in his voice made her stomach drop. What's wrong? I've been thinking about us. About our marriage. I don't think I'm happy anymore. Finally. He stopped pretending. Amanda pulled over again, her hands trembling. David, what are you saying? I'm saying maybe we should consider separation. We've been going through the motions for months. I think we both deserve better than that. The rational part of Amanda's mind knew this wasn't a complete surprise. They had been having problems. But the timing felt wrong, like something was pushing him to this decision. Nothing's pushing him. He's just finally being honest. The voice helps people see the truth about their relationships. David, have you been having strange thoughts lately? Voices in your head? There was a long pause. How did you know about that? Amanda realized that the voice was spreading through the community like a psychological virus. "What exactly have you been hearing?" Amanda asked. "It started a few days ago. Just little thoughts at first, like reminders of things I already knew but didn't want to admit. That I married you because I was scared of being alone, not because I was truly in love. That we stay together out of habit, not desire." Amanda felt like she was drowning. "David, this isn't normal. Something is happening in this town. The children who were kidnapped, they're talking about the same voice. Maybe it's not a voice. Maybe it's just clarity. Maybe something happened to those kids that helped them see through the lies adults tell themselves about love and family." He's right. The children weren't damaged by their experience, they were enlightened by it. "David, I need you to fight these thoughts. They're not coming from you." "How do you know?" "How do you know these aren't my real feelings, the ones I've been suppressing because I was afraid to hurt you?" The line went quiet. When David spoke again, his voice was different. Calmer. More certain. "I'm going to stay at my brother's tonight. We can talk about separation when you're ready to be honest about what we both know is true." He hung up. Amanda sat in her car, feeling like her world was collapsing. The voice in her head was getting stronger, more persuasive. "Your marriage was failing anyway. The voice didn't create these problems, it just helped you both acknowledge them. Isn't honesty better than pretending?" Her radio crackled. "Detective Cross, we need you back at the station. We've got reports of more missing children." The disappearances were accelerating, and Amanda discovered that the voice's influence was spreading far beyond Willowbrook. Back at the station, Amanda found chaos. The phone system was overwhelmed with reports of missing children from across the city. Not just Willowbrook students, kids from 5 different schools, ranging in age from 6 to 16. Captain Rodriguez was coordinating the response, but he looked haggard, like he hadn't slept in days. "How many?" Amanda asked. 37 so far. All left similar notes. All talking about a voice that's teaching them the truth. Amanda's partner, Detective Mike Sullivan, approached with a stack of files. But something was different about Mike too. His usual easy smile was gone, replaced by a distant, analytical expression. "I've been thinking about this case," Mike said, "and I think we're approaching it wrong. What if these children aren't being kidnapped? What if they're choosing to leave because they've figured something out that we haven't? Even your partner sees the truth now." "Mike, what are you talking about?" "I went home last night and looked at my own family with fresh eyes. Really looked at them. My wife says she loves me, but when I watch her interact with the kids, I can see the exhaustion, the resentment. She loves the idea of being a mother, but the daily reality of it is wearing her down." Amanda stared at her partner of 4 years. Mike had always been the optimistic one, the guy who believed in the goodness of people. Now he sounded like he'd given up on everything. "And my kids," Mike continued, "they come to me when they need something, not because they want to spend time with me. When's the last time one of them just wanted to talk? They love what I provide: security, money, rides to soccer practice. But do they love me? The person I actually am? He's waking up. Just like your husband. Just like you." Captain Rodriguez called for attention. "Everyone listen up. We've just received a communication from the missing children. They've sent a video message." He clicked on his computer, and a large screen on the wall flickered to life. The image showed a clean, well-lit room that Amanda recognized from the warehouse where the first 12 children had been found. But now there were dozens of kids, all sitting calmly in rows. Emma Rodriguez stepped forward to address the camera. She looked exactly the same as when Amanda had interviewed her, but her voice carried an authority that seemed impossible for an 8-year-old. "To the parents and police officers watching this," Emma began, "we want you to know that we are safe and we are exactly where we choose to be." The children's message revealed the true nature of what was happening, and it was far more disturbing than any kidnapping. "We know you're looking for us," Emma continued. "And we know you believe you love us and want us back. But the voice has taught us to see the difference between what people say they feel and what they actually feel. Behind Emma, the other children sat quietly, but their eyes were alert and focused. They looked like students in a classroom, not kidnap victims. Love, as adults understand it, is conditional, Emma said. You love us when we're good, when we make you proud, when we don't cause problems. But when we cry too much, or get bad grades, or don't meet your expectations, that love becomes frustration and disappointment. Amanda felt the voice in her head growing stronger as she watched. The children are teaching the lesson now. Listen to them. The voice has shown us that parents have children for selfish reasons, Emma continued. To feel needed, to have someone who depends on them, to create meaning in their own empty lives. You call it love, but it's really just emotional dependency. Mike leaned over to Amanda. She's making some valid points. I mean, when you really think about why people have kids. Mike, stop. These are children being manipulated by someone. Are they? Or are they finally seeing clearly? On screen, Emma gestured to the other children. We've formed a new kind of family here. One based on truth instead of lies. We support each other without the need for possessive attachment that adults call love. We care for each other without the expectations and conditions that biological families impose. A boy Amanda recognized as Diego Santos stepped forward. We're not rejecting our parents because we hate them. We're rejecting the false relationship they want to have with us. The voice has taught us that real connection comes from honesty, not from the desperate need to be loved. They understand something that took you 35 years to figure out. To the police officers investigating our disappearance, Emma said, looking directly at the camera, we invite you to stop searching for us and start searching for the truth. The voice is calling to all of you too. You can hear it if you stop fighting it. The video ended with all the children looking directly at the camera, their expressions calm and knowing. The room was silent for a moment. Then Captain Rodriguez spoke, but his voice sounded different than usual. Uncertain. I need to think about this. Everyone take the rest of the day. We'll regroup tomorrow. Amanda realized that the voice was not just manipulating thoughts, it was rewriting people's understanding of reality itself. That night, Amanda sat alone in her empty house, David's absence making the silence feel oppressive. But the voice filled that silence with a constant stream of uncomfortable observations. Look around this house. All these photos of you and David smiling. But can you remember the last time you smiled like that genuinely? Without forcing it for the camera? Amanda looked at their wedding photos on the mantle. They looked happy, in love. But the voice was right, those smiles now seemed forced, performative. In your childhood photos. Look at your mother's face. She's holding you, but see the tension in her shoulders? The way she's not quite looking at you? Even as a baby, you were a burden she carried out of obligation. Amanda picked up a photo of herself as a toddler with her mother. Her mother was smiling, but there was something strained about it. Had that always been there, or was the voice making her see things that weren't real? Her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Detective Cross. The voice was calm, male, middle-aged. I think it's time we spoke directly. Amanda's blood went cold. Who is this? I'm the one who's been helping everyone see the truth. The children call me the teacher, but I'm really just a facilitator. The voice you've been hearing, it's not me speaking to you. It's you finally hearing your own suppressed understanding of reality. Where are you? I'm everywhere people are ready to acknowledge that love is just another form of control. I started with children because they're more open to truth than adults, but the understanding spreads naturally from person to person. Amanda grabbed her recorder and hit record. Are you the one who took the children from Willowbrook? I didn't take them. I offered them a choice. Continue living in families that love them conditionally, or join a community based on honest connection. They chose truth over lies. He's right. The children weren't kidnapped, they were liberated. This is kidnapping and child abuse, Amanda said, but her voice lacked conviction. Detective, in the past 3 days, how many adults in your life have suddenly become honest about their relationships? Your husband, your partner, your captain. Did I force them to see the truth, or did I simply help them acknowledge what they already knew? Amanda thought about David's confession, Mike's observations about his family, the way Captain Rodriguez had seemed shaken by the children's video. What do you want from me? I want you to stop fighting the voice in your head. It's showing you that your entire life has been built on false premises. That the love you've believed in doesn't really exist. That people attach to each other out of need and fear, not genuine affection. The voice offered Amanda a choice that would determine not just her fate, but the fate of everyone else still fighting the influence. I can offer you the same choice I offered the children, the voice on the phone continued. You can continue trying to solve this case, clinging to the belief that love and family are real, forcing yourself to ignore what you now know to be true. Or you can embrace reality and join us. Join you where? We have facilities in 12 cities now, Detective. Communities of people who've chosen truth over comfortable lies. Adults and children living together without the possessive bonds that traditional families call love. Amanda felt herself wavering. The voice in her head had been so persistent, so convincing. Every relationship in her life suddenly seemed hollow, based on need rather than genuine connection. Why are you fighting this? You know he's right. You've always known. What happens to the children's parents? The families you're destroying? I'm not destroying families, I'm revealing that they were never real to begin with. The parents who truly love their children unconditionally will find peace in knowing their kids are happy. The parents who loved possessively will suffer until they learn to let go. Amanda thought about Maria Santos, crying over her son Diego. Was that grief really love, or was it the pain of losing control over someone she thought belonged to her? You know the answer. Detective, you have 12 hours to decide. The voice will continue to grow stronger. Soon, everyone in your city will hear it. You can either fight it and suffer, or accept it and find peace. The line went dead. Amanda sat in her quiet house, feeling the weight of the choice pressing down on her. Around her, the photos of her supposedly happy life seemed to mock her with their artificial smiles. Her phone buzzed. A text from David, I'm sorry for how I handled things today. I do love you, Amanda. This voice in my head is telling me I don't, but I know my own heart better than some strange thoughts. He's lying to himself. And to you. The old patterns are too comfortable to break. But as Amanda read David's message, she felt something she hadn't felt in days. A spark of genuine emotion. Not the analytical dissection of relationships that the voice provided, but actual feeling. Amanda discovered that the voice had one weakness, and it was the key to saving everyone under its influence. Amanda called David back immediately. David, where are you right now? At my brother's place. Amanda, I'm scared. These thoughts in my head don't feel like me. Fight them. Tell me one specific memory of why you married me. Not because you were afraid of being alone, but a moment when you felt genuine love. There was a pause. That time you got food poisoning on our honeymoon. You were so sick, and I spent the whole night taking care of you. You kept apologizing for ruining our trip, but I remember thinking that this was exactly where I wanted to be. Taking care of you. It wasn't obligation or fear, it was love. As David spoke, Amanda felt the voice in her head growing quieter, less certain. He's romanticizing a memory. Reinterpreting duty as love. But Amanda pushed back against the voice for the first time. No. I remember that night too. David could have been anywhere else, but he chose to be with me. That was love. Amanda? The voice is getting quieter. It's still there, but when I focus on specific moments of love, it can't argue with them. Amanda felt a rush of clarity. The voice was powerful when it made general statements about human nature, but it couldn't erase concrete memories of genuine connection. David, I need you to call everyone you can think of who's been affected by this voice. Tell them to fight back with specific memories of real love. Not abstract ideas about love, but actual moments when they felt it. She hung up and immediately called Mike. "Mike, you said your kids don't really love you. Tell me about the last time one of them did something that showed genuine affection. Not asking for something, just showing they cared." Mike was quiet for a moment. "Last week, my daughter Sarah drew me a picture. Not for Father's Day or my birthday, just because. She said she drew it because she missed me while I was at work. That's love, Mike. That's real connection, not manipulation. One memory doesn't prove anything. Children are naturally manipulative." But as Amanda helped Mike recall more specific instances of his children's genuine affection, she could hear his voice getting stronger, more like the partner she knew. As Amanda marshaled the power of genuine human connection against the voice's influence, she realized that the final battle would determine whether love was real or just another lie we tell ourselves. Amanda spent the next 6 hours on the phone, reaching everyone she knew who'd been affected by the voice. She had them recall specific moments of genuine connection, parents remembering their children's unprompted kindness, spouses recalling moments of selfless care, friends thinking about times they'd chosen to be together simply for the joy of it. With each conversation, the voice grew weaker. Not gone, but manageable. At dawn, she drove to the warehouse where the children were being held. But instead of bringing backup, she came alone. She had realized something crucial: the voice fed on abstract doubts about human nature, but it couldn't survive direct confrontation with specific, genuine experiences of love. The warehouse was exactly as she'd found it months ago: clean, well organized, more like a school than a prison. The children were awake, sitting in their orderly rows, but they looked different. Less certain. More confused. Emma Rodriguez approached her. "Detective Cross. The voice said you would come. Emma, I want you to think about one specific moment with your parents. Not whether they love you in general, but one time when you felt their love without any doubt." Emma's confident expression faltered. "The voice says those memories are lies. That parents only show affection to manipulate children. The voice is wrong. Tell me about your birthday last year. What did your parents do?" Emma hesitated. They threw me a party. But that was just because it's what parents are supposed to do." "No, think deeper. What made that day special?" "My mom stayed up all night making my cake from scratch because I mentioned liking the one at Sarah's party. And my dad took the whole day off work, even though he had an important meeting." As Emma spoke, her voice began to change. The artificial maturity was fading, replaced by something more childlike and uncertain. "But the voice says they did that because they wanted other people to think they were good parents." "Emma, did anyone else see your mom staying up all night to bake? Did anyone else know your dad skipped his meeting?" Emma's eyes began to fill with tears. "No. They did it just for me." Around the room, other children were listening. As Emma's certainty crumbled, theirs began to waver too. "You're making a mistake. These children were free from the lies of conditional love. You're putting them back in chains." But Amanda ignored the voice and knelt down to Emma's level. "The voice told you that your parents were relieved when you disappeared. But I've seen your mother every day for 3 months. I've seen her crying, searching, never giving up hope. That's not relief, Emma. That's love." Emma broke down completely, suddenly looking like the 8-year-old she really was. "I want to go home. I want my mom." As the children's belief in the voice crumbled, Amanda faced the final test, confronting the source of the voice itself, only to discover that the greatest manipulation had been saved for last, and the truth about love and human connection was more complex than either the voice or her resistance had suggested.